Welcome to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Things.
And we're back, man. Episode 316.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Let's get right into it. Women's national title. We just watched the South Carolina Gamecocks versus the Iowa Hawkeyes and Caitlin Clark.
The Gamecocks.
Yeah, man. That's a hell of a name for a school, right?
Yeah.
All right. The South Carolina BBCs. Anyway. Nah, man. It was a hell of a game. Caitlin played as tough as she could. I'm pretty sure she would, if she had that game back, she would play a little better. She got 30 points. But it wasn't enough.
She played as tough as she could. She also ran into a brick wall. You know, it was that South Carolina #1 defense in the country. It was certain plays where some of those games could go away where it's like, dang, Caitlin balled out, but the rest of the team was like slouching. But Caitlin turned the ball over a few times. She took some bad shots, you know, and that's part of her game, you know what I mean? Kind of making the bad shot look good. But yeah, South Carolina came to play.
Yeah, and ultimately, man, you knew that was going to happen. That South Carolina was undefeated. Those girls are fucking tough. Their center is 6'7". Like they just got everything. They got the bench. Like the whole team is deep. Even the girls coming off the bench
are deep.
Yeah. Fu Wiley coming off the bench. She's fucking good. She's got a bag like Jamal Crawford, like that.
She could dunk the ball. They said
Fu Wiley.
That's what they said.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's crazy. Yeah. But they got a hell of a team over there, man. So shout out to the South Carolina Gamecocks. Unfortunately, Caitlin Clark could stamp her legacy with that because she would have been personally right now, she's the greatest women's basketball player of all time. That's what she leads in scoring and assists.
Yeah.
So that's fucking hard to do, right? Mm-hmm. So shout out to her. But my thing is this, there's the upside to all of this is that it brought a lot of attention to the women's game, more specifically Caitlin Clark, right? But the downside to all of this, all the attention is the people that come and get involved in the conversations. I feel like a lot of people have co-opted or hijacked women's basketball to say and do racist shit. And when I say racist shit, I'm not just talking about just white people saying racist shit. I'm talking about a bunch of people making racial assumptions and saying dumb shit. Literally during, it's weird that it's been happening with women. And it's like men writing hateful comments about the women athletes, writing shit about Angel Reese all the time. But then I seen one after Caitlin Clark had lost the game and it was a black dude. He was like, y'all white savior couldn't save y'all today. And it's like, nigga, why?
The Great White Hope.
The Great White Hope couldn't save y'all today. It's like, bro, let's stop fucking up. Let women have a moment. This is the women's moment that their sport is getting a lot of attention right now. Let's stop fucking it up by doing this. It's like we use women's basketball in this situation to leverage our own inadequacies. And that's bullshit. And I'm seeing it too fucking much. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing it would be like some dude that got like an American flag as his fucking logo. And then he'll say like Caitlin will win a game with a game winner. And it'll be like, great job, Caitlin. It's better than that ghetto thug Angel Reese. You'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Like, are these even real people? Are these bots doing this? Or is this real people just exhibiting hateful behavior for no fucking reason?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it, man. I don't like it. I don't. It needs to stop.
Yeah, it's one of those things like it's crazy how sports can be so divisive. And I think this will probably only happen in college just because college there are certain factors that go into like why certain teams look the way they do. South Carolina is in the South, and I don't know where all those girls are from, but I would imagine a lot of their recruiting happens Florida, Alabama, South Carolina, you know, that general area, you know, maybe kind of Virginia area as well. Iowa, you know, they're predominantly probably looking for talent, you know, in the Midwest and maybe a little bit on the West Coast. But for the most part, people kind of stay close to their home when it comes to, you know, the schools and stuff that they go to. So with that being said, obviously Iowa got a lot of white people there, and South Carolina, you know, got a lot of black people there. So that just like when you just looking at the aesthetic, that just kind of jumps off the screen.
Look, I just clicked on a random post on ESPN. I'm seeing this shit all over. This dude posted, bye white hope, get the hell out of here. No more sympathy post ESPN. The golden child lost. Like, bro. Then it says, and then somebody put Angel Reese rings 1, Caitlin Clark 0. Ring or not, she'll be the reason y'all watch women's basketball. Like, look, man, we'll see how she does in the WNBA after this performance tonight and being absolutely locked the fuck up by great defense. Not so sure she will be that great in the league. Bro,
she didn't get locked up though.
You took one game to this is what I hate about people. You just do anything for confirmation bias. And then to make it worse, it's not legit. Caitlin Clark is not the best player in women's basketball because she's white. She's the best player because she's the best player. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. And then this is when I could tell there's some racial microaggressions that are taking place, whether it's some white folks saying some shit or they black. If they black, I've noticed they'll find all the players in history that are not better than Caitlin Clark, even ones that I love. They'd be like, oh, man, Cheryl Swoops would have killed her or such and such would have killed her. And it's like, look, you can make an argument for that, but when it comes to statistically, she's leading in scoring and assists.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just debunk that by just throwing names out there. You can't do that. That's just fucked up.
Yeah.
When it's somebody white, they look for or a white icon in there. They just find any reason to have a weird shot at Angel Reese for some reason. I don't get the hate for Angel Reese. All these women are jawing and talking shit. Caitlin Clark is talking shit, bouncing basketballs off her head. Angel Reese is waving by to people like they're talking shit, and men do it all the time. There's not a lot of backlash for it, but because women are doing something that they love and they being jolly about it, like, who cares? I like it. But it's like people are just bringing a sour milk attitude to the game, and it's sometimes when I see the post, sometimes I don't even want to look at the comments. I know they're going to be fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. The comments is like it's a pool for negativity.
Absolutely.
It's also, depending on what platform, whether it's Instagram or mostly Twitter. Twitter is like a space where like they're going to show you what you want to see.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, if you're a person that's like feeding into the negativity, not necessarily engaging with it, but just feeding into it, you're definitely going to see more of that. You're definitely going to see more Angel Reese hate if you're a person that is like indulging in like those things.
Yeah, I see a icon and it's I think it's like a black woman. It says, I started watching because of Angel Reese, and it's like the post is literally about Caitlin Clark. This is what I've noticed. This is what I noticed. Like it's sad, bro. Like latching on to players and putting your negative spin on shit when you probably, a lot of people are new to women's basketball. They've caught on to this because, Caitlin Clark has brought a lot of people to the game because of how she's playing the game. She's shooting the ball from the fucking logo. There are not a lot of men that are shooting from the fucking logo. Even in the NBA, you got to be a special player in the NBA to be allowed to do that. Think about it. Steph Curry does that. Dame Lillard does that. And there's some other players that do that, but everybody not just pulling up from the logo. Because if you pull up from the logo and your ass can't shoot, you gonna get pulled out the game. Yeah. You got to be that type of player to be able to pull up from the fucking logo. And she one of the only ones doing it in all of women's sports. So
I think there's some validity to what they're saying though. I think that Caitlin Clark is the best player, but she's not the sole reason like why women's basketball is popular.
She's one of them.
She's part of the reason why. That LSU team last year, they're the team though, not like Caitlin Clark, but like the team along with Angel Reese. They were like, they're part of the story as well. South Carolina going undefeated this year. They're part of this story.
Absolutely.
She's just the best player. And, I think that, people were excited to see her play. And, rightfully so. There's celebrities showing up to the games and, people her last game at Iowa, there was a bunch of people. The tickets was crazy. The prices was crazy. But yeah, I think that it's a lot. It's just like, Jordan was obviously like the most dominant player in the late 80s and 90s. But I think that, there's some other players that kind of he had to compete against somebody. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
I think that that's like, not that that's what they're saying. They're saying like more like wildly racist stuff. But you know, that's just kind of.
I'll still say she's the majority of why people are tuning in, and the reason why is she's on a historical run. There's a difference. If she's just another really good player, then we have another conversation. But there are this, and it's a collaborative, but she's at the very top of that collaborative. She's at the top, and then you got Paige Beckers, you got fucking Juju Watkins, you got Alyssa Peely, you got I'm missing somebody else. Basically the fucking South Carolina Gamecocks. You got Angel Reese, who's not like one of the top, but she's at the top still.
Yeah, Angel Reese is like she's more of a name than she is.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, one of the best. She might be like top 10 draft picks when it comes to
Flage
WNBA next year.
Yeah, Flage Johnson's definitely one of the tops. That LSU squad is tough, man. The one that I like, the one that I think is going to be actually better than Angel Reese on that LSU team is Anissa Morrow. She tough. She was out there playing with a black eye, man. She's fucking tough. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of these women at the next level because I've really been locking in watching the game, you know. But yeah, I will say a majority of it is because of but because of Caitlin. And then the media created this Angel Reese Caitlin beef when it was never nothing there. They don't have any issues with each other, but it's unfortunate that one happens to be white, one happens to be black, and when you get there's such a wide spectrum of people on this planet that the loudest, dumbest, ignorant, most racist people come together and start talking on the internet, and it creates an element of something that shouldn't even be there. And we see this shit, and it's happening everywhere.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think that most of the time, you know, should be spent on Dawn Staley in South Carolina because that's her third championship, you know, and undefeated. Like that's the unfortunate part of like, you know, me. I didn't watch a lot of the games, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm just like I support women's basketball, but I haven't watched much basketball. Like I ain't really sat down and watched an NBA game. And today I watched it just because, you know, it's the biggest thing, you know, on TV. So I watched the championship, but I haven't watched literally any other women's basketball game.
Yeah.
But when I'm looking at the narrative, I'm like, yo, they're on a historical run. Like obviously Caitlin Clark is on a historical run because she's a leading scorer, and you know she's like dang near like the Steph Curry of the, you know, NCAA women's basketball. But this team is undefeated. Like,
absolutely,
that's wild to be undefeated and win the national championship after losing 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With a bunch of freshmen on your team, like that's a story. You know, and Dawn Staley to win her third championship. You know, that's a story, and you know just how like. She's just cool. Like she be on the sideline, like, you know, she a former player and whatnot, but she cool. Like, and then she just cried. She was so emotional when she won. She's talking about her faith in God and, you know, how, you know, resilient her team is and stuff like that. So it's just unfortunate that that's not like the story, you know. And Caitlin Clark she had a great college career and she wasn't able to get it done. It's unfortunate somebody has to lose because I'm curious to see like what that looks like for her going out on top, winning the national championship, going into the WNBA, you know, and obviously you're gonna go to a team with the what team is that? The team that got the Indiana Fever. She's gonna go to Indiana.
She might be playing with Aaliyah Boston over there. Aaliyah Boston had lost in her last season with the Gamecocks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, but yeah, going over there, you know, it just would have been cool, like to cap off the story. But then it's also cool to see like Dawn Staley, a black woman coach, and to see South Carolina go undefeated. Like to me, I was like, I'm not really rooting for anybody. I think both teams are trying to make history. So
yeah,
I think that's amazing.
I really wasn't pulling for anybody. It was just a great game, and it's one of those things. It's too. We also talked about when you talk about the racial element, like the locations of the schools, which created like this. It was a clear racial thing. A lot of Iowa natives, they zoomed in or like they flashed that screen, and everybody was white. And then they flashed over to the South Carolina Gamecocks, and they have somewhat of a mixed campus, but there's like a lot of black folks there.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that what happens is that when the media sees that too, they double down and play into it. And they act like it's not an element there, but it is. I think with people like me, I just want to watch a good game and watch women compete. You know what I'm saying? But you can't ignore the amount of push that people are putting on that. And the fact that like Caitlin Clark is just out here trying to make history, and it's some white folks weaponizing racism, and it's some black folks that's doing the same shit. I can't let black folks off the hook with this one. 'Cause I done seen some wild shit they said too. Like the whole Great White Hope thing. Like I could see that. That's a narrative that is there's like a terminology for that. I forgot what it's called, but it's like a legit there's like legit diction behind that.
What do you mean?
Where it's like, for example, like Christian McCaffrey. Like Christian McCaffrey, obviously one of the best backs in the whole league. And I'm a 49er fan, obviously. But the thing about it, people zoom in on him because he is white. It's like being a white corner. You know, I feel like maybe the quarterback position was like that for a minute too, with black quarterbacks. But yeah, it's unfortunate that these elements seep into sports, man. Because we just want to watch the fucking game. You go to and the thing about it is, I don't want to speak in a circular conversation, but it's really frustrating to see this in 2024, man.
Yeah.
I really hope that this doesn't carry over into it won't. I'm pretty sure it won't carry over into the WNBA. But I'm looking forward to seeing Caitlin at the next level, man. I'm curious to see if they could pull something out there in Indiana, and how much is this going to grow the game.
Yeah, I'm sure her star will follow her. I know that it is going to be a different transition. I know Diana Taurasi she kind of jumped out there and said, you know, like, hey, dude, this is you playing against 18-year-old girls. These are grown women in the WNBA.
Yeah, they called her a hater for that, but I don't think she was hating.
Yeah, I think she was hating. I think it was some truth to it, but I still think she was hating because there's not really any reason to say that. You know, it is a fact, but it's also like not really any reason to say that.
There's no reason to say it, but there is some legitimacy to it, and that is that even Kelsey Plum, who was averaging over 30-some points, went and averaged 8 her rookie year, and talked about how the transition is tough, and talked about how there's a bunch of women fighting for one spot on that team, and how hard it is to get the ball. And also, you know, it's like these are grown-ass women. So when you Caitlin Clark and you playing against 19, 18, 22, 21-year-old women, but now you're playing against women that's 28 and they've been lifting weights and they on the cusp of making a team, they're going to knock your motherfucking head off. So
yeah, that's true.
It's going to – and the thing about it, too, she said something and people looked at it as hate, too. And I could get why they say that, but she said, we have a fascination with young people and young players, like whether it's a pitcher or, you know, a football player or basketball, like we have a fascination. But once they get to the league and, you know, they're playing at a very high level at an older age, the fascination's gone. And I thought about it. I felt like there could have been some levels of bitterness to it, but maybe that's from her vantage point, right? But Diana Taurasi is like arguably one of the best players ever to play in the WNBA.
Bro, you could be good and hate. She just hates.
That's a good point too.
She's an old hater, and she's not saying anything that isn't correct. But at the same time, it's like it's the same conversation when LeBron James came in the league. Obviously, he had the chosen one on his back, and it's magazine covers and #1 overall pick and all these things. And it was guys like Kevin Garnett and a lot of these old heads. I was like, he ain't gonna be doing that over here and all this other stuff. And then, you know, he goes on to be one of the greatest basketball players ever. But it just people hate. It's fine. You know what I mean? And you can hate with facts attached to it. But I hope that she dominates. You know, like it's only gonna do. It's only gonna lift the league. You know what I mean? I don't. There's for me. I'm not Diana Taurasi, and I never played in WNBA. But you know, I would hope that girls would be rooting for her, because that only means that she's going to usher in, you know, more girls growing up wanting to play basketball, and then obviously more eyes on the game, and then obviously more money involved in the whole nine. You know what I mean? So I think everybody in the
I think
WNBA should be rooting for her.
This year, the WNBA created some ads or like commercials about welcoming rookies, and it's like it's like the WNBA draft, and it's like WNBA veterans, like it's like satire. It's like they making a bowl of cereal, but the cereal is called like reality or something like that. Like it's all these little satirical commercials are being made. So the women's game is growing. I think it's a dope thing. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I think Kaylin's up for it, but I wouldn't be surprised if she get elbowed right in the motherfucking head, because they be letting these calls fly in the WNBA, bro.
Yeah,
they be letting them motherfuckers.
You gotta be tough.
If you watch some of these college women's games, bro, they be letting them elbow each other in the face and shit, and no fouls getting called. You're like, man, come on, bro, call a foul.
Yeah, it's it reminds me of like what'd you say, like yeah, I don't know. I guess just like you said, like I was saying, like a LeBron James situation, even like a Steph Curry situation where it's all about the work you put in. Like, you know, your college career is done. You don't have any more college games. But if you got the work ethic, which it seems like she's a hard worker, you hit the weights, you get stronger, you put the time in, like, you know, the league could be yours in a couple years. Yeah, we'll see how this translates, man. But we'll go ahead and switch gears. You got anything else you'd like to add to this, Keith? Nah, man. Shout out to the Gamecocks and Don Staley, and you know, let's see let's hopefully we could keep this momentum going next year for the women's basketball. Yeah.
All right. Let's switch gears. J. Cole addresses rap beef recently, and this is within the last hour and a half tops. Somebody got visual or audio of J. Cole talking about his recent rap beef with Kendrick Lamar, and we're the first ones to break the news on a podcast. How about that, Keith? It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I know we were the first ones to get that Will Smith information when it first popped off.
Yeah.
We got it within like 10, 15 minutes of it happening. We had to give a real life, like a real reaction to it in real time.
Yeah.
All right, let me see if I can pull this up right now. Hopefully you guys can hear this because I'm doing it from the phone. All right.
To even stand beside in this game, let alone chase their greatness, right? So I felt conflicted because I'm like, bro, I know I don't really feel no way, but the world want to see blood. I don't know if y'all can feel that, but the world want to see blood. So I say all of that to say, in my spirit of trying to like get this music out, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I moved in a way that I feel spiritually feel bad on me. Like I try to like jab my nigga back, and I try to keep it friendly, but at the end of the day, when I listen to it and when it comes out and I see the talk, that shit don't sit right with my spirit. That shit make me feel, that shit disrupts my fucking peace. So what I want to say right here tonight is, in the midst of me doing that and in that shit, trying to find a little angle and downplay this nigga's fucking catalog and his greatness, I want to say right now tonight, how many people think Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest motherfuckers that ever touched a fucking microphone? Dreamville, y'all love Kendrick Lamar, correct? As do I. So I just want to come up here and be like, publicly be like, bro, that was the lamest, like, goofiest shit. And I say all that to say, it made me feel like 10 years ago when I was moving incorrectly. And I pray that God align me back up on my purpose and on my path. You know what I mean? I pray that my nigga really didn't feel no way. And if he did, my nigga, I got my chin out. Take your best shot. I'm gonna take that shit on the chin, boy. Do what you do. You know what I mean? Like, all good. Like, it's love. And I pray that, y'all are like, forgive a nigga for like the misstep, and then I can get back to my true path. Cause I ain't gonna lie to y'all, past 2 days felt terrible. Like, it let me know how good I've been sleeping for the past 10 years. So all of that to say, man, I want to now perform the song that's a reminder.
So what you guys get from that is Kendrick Lamar not Kendrick. J. Cole was speaking his truth up there. I remember I recently or sent a audio message to Keith. I think it was Friday, and that's when when J. Cole released his response to it. And I was just like, this is not like great. It's not like the best, but just the whole situation seemed weak to me. Like K-Dot's verse wasn't that great to me. J. Cole's verse wasn't that great to me. It just seemed off color because we're almost all 40 years old. Like, I can see if you guys are younger hip hop artists or whatnot, but it just feels like the growth and the direction in which your careers have went, this just seems off brand or off color, in my opinion, right? There's a lot of people that listen to hip hop and they want to see this. Like they want to see the back and forth or the competition or whatever. But I don't give a fuck. I think at this point, it's just like, I just want to hear good music, man. That's all I want to hear. I don't know why Kendrick said what he said. That's fine. Maybe it's hip hop and that's what he thinks for him. But this doesn't exist in any other genre. They usually just make good music, right? But hip hop is different. But there's gonna be a bunch of people like, oh man, J. Cole punked out, man. Kendrick the best now because J. Cole felt. It's like, bro, like stop it, man. Like, I don't believe that personally. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I just think it's weird. I just think it's weak, and yeah, that's just my personal opinion. But maybe I'm just old and out of the conversation of hip hop, I guess now.
I mean, that is an old take. I think that, like, for me, it kind of sucks to hear that as like a fan of J. Cole, and like, you know, I understand it as like a mature person, but also like, you know, most people believe that hip hop is like a very competitive genre. Like, even if it's not like taking shots at people, a lot of J. Cole's verses are like centered around like, niggas been faking their streams, getting their plays from machines. Yeah, I can see this behind the smoke. Like, it's a lot of like, you know, not like direct shots at anybody. It's just like very like, you know, general broad like disrespect, you know, when it comes to his verses. So, I mean, that's just the nature of like hip hop. Hip hop is like, it's very braggadocious. It's like, you know, I'm better than you because like, I have more money than you. I have more album sales than you, and I have this. Like, it's just like the nature of the way people speak. Not to mention, like, a lot of people kind of came up on. A lot of these artists came up on like battle rap, whether they was like battling people at the lunch table or freestyling or like, you know, like going back and forth online with certain people or whatever. Like, that's like how hip hop was like kind of constructed, and there's still a lot of that stuff today. There's still battle raps that are going on today, like the smack battle raps, and you know, a bunch of like Hitman Holla, or I think that's his name, but like just Murder Mook and guys like that. You know, these guys are like battle rappers. That's just kind of like what they do. So you know, when it comes to that, I you know, I can appreciate like the back and forth of it all. I think that J. Cole is like a very mature person.
Right.
And I think that he probably just kind of like indulged in something that, you know, it just genuinely probably didn't sit well with him, especially because he actually is a fan of Kendrick Lamar, and, you know, not only a fan, like somebody that he considers like one of his peers, and most oftentimes, like, he's actually, you know, acknowledging the fact that, you know, it's him, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar as like the, you know, the three biggest artists. So, I don't know. I'm not 39, so I'm not like that mature when it comes to that conversation. But I do understand like what J. Cole is saying, because I feel like he's saying like, you know, like I'm like, he said something to me, and then, you know, I kind of like threw a shot back at him, but I also didn't want to make it too deep or too like something we couldn't come back from. And I also may not necessarily like feel like, you know, the things that, you know, I said in the song. And he was like, you know, and I can understand like how when you're an artist, and when you're an artist of that caliber, and a lot of like your mental health is tied to like your career, and, you know, the things that you say, the type of music that you put out, and the type of music that you get to release. Like, I can understand, like, me knowing him personally, how long it took for him to get to a place where he didn't care about, you know, the glitz and the glamour of it all, and how much peace he was able to find, like, maybe like doing Forest Hills Drive, and how like that kind of freed him up to do like just to create better music for himself, and that could sit well with him. And he probably felt like he kind of reverted back to like a version of himself that was just like not at peace. And so for that, he probably, felt bad for it all. But
yeah, I'm looking at just reading just people's ideas of what's going on here too. One guy put, most of these comments remind me of sideline goofies at a fight. One fighter doesn't want to fight, but you demon-driven goofies get him. You weak, blah, blah, blah. Instead of praising him for being the bigger person, J. Cole did the right thing. The comment says, this was a rap battle, not an actual beef. Battling is a part of hip-hop, always been. Rap is competitive sport. Kendrick was just trying to bring excitement to the game. I'm actually disappointed. Right? So that's what people have. But, dog.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I could see it, but it was weak to me, though. It just seemed out of place. Like, the way that their careers were going, y'all niggas almost 40 doing this, that whole shit was weak to me. Like, I could see if y'all was 28, but you almost 40 years old, and the amount of elevation you've had in your music does not align with this. Leave the battle shit to everybody else. What are you battling? You guys are all wildly successful. So with me, I don't get what Kendrick was doing, and Kendrick doesn't even strike me as a dude that really should like be doing this, only because he doesn't release as much, and for one, he's off radar. Like, this guy doesn't he has no social media presence, nothing. So for him to drop that verse, it just seemed off color at this point at this juncture. But who am I, right? I'm just a guy with an opinion like everyone else.
Yeah, it's just an old take, but I just think that's just it's his hip hop. Like it's like you've seen it from everybody, whether it's like guys like Jay-Z, like Jay-Z still now, he's not like throwing shots, like directly at anybody, but it he'll still have like rebuttals to things that people have said. Jay-Z just, only a few years ago threw some shots at Drake, saying, he was soft and stuff like that, calling him he called him a, what is that sport? I can't think of the sport, but he basically said he was playing the wrong sport or something like that. So it's just like, it's just the nature of what hip hop is. I don't think that Kendrick Lamar was like, I don't think it's that deep. I just think that he was trying to like stir up the pot. Like, he just felt like, hip hop was getting a little bit too friendly, and he just didn't like the way that everything was just so
but
so
where's
friendly.
the book? Where's the book? Where's the manual for hip hop? Is this something we all collectively agreed on, or is this something we feel? I don't think we have any of us can say like hip hop is this. It should be this and that. Who the fuck wrote the rules? If I don't want to be involved and it's not with my spirit and I don't really care to do it, I'm not doing it. Period. Yeah. Like, and when it came to him, he said that shit felt lame to me. Like, it felt like it was 10 years ago. And I could agree, because it's almost like, even at this age, even outside of rap or anything rap, as a 39-year-old, when I do something that's off color for me, I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't even be dealing with this. Mm-hmm. Like, it could be dating, it could be anything. Like, I shouldn't even be talking to this type of person, or I shouldn't even be doing this, or I shouldn't even be at it's like being at the club at 39 till 4 a.m. Like, this is certain stuff it doesn't align with your spirit. So if for him, if he felt that responding to Kendrick on that was lame, and he can go back and revisit it and say, that doesn't align with me, that's fine. I just don't like the people that are ripping him, telling him that that's not what hip hop is about. Nigga, who wrote the manual? Where's the book?
I mean, it's like hip hop it literally started with people battling. That's how it started. Like, people, that whole like,
it actually started with DJs, not MCs. So
but that's part of it, not literally the genesis, but I'm saying, like, in New York, there was like people going back and forth, who could rock the crowd better. Like, it's always been a competitive element to it.
Yeah.
So that's just part of the DNA of, there was, even if it was just DJs, there were still like DJ battles, like who could scratch better and all these, all these things.
But the issue with hip hop is there's subgenres within hip hop that do not battle anyone. The Roots, people like Common that don't. So that's the thing. When we try to wash everybody down, like, it's not a monolithic, this is the thing. It's not a monolithic genre. We make it that way, but it's not. Like, you're not gonna hear the Roots like, yo, fuck Tribe Called Quest. Like, you just don't hear that from them. You might hear from some. Now, it was a battle not a battle, but a beef actually between Common and Ice Cube. That was kind of weird. That didn't last too long.
Yes.
But that was like, that was weird. It was like a spoken word nigga versus somebody from LA. That was just awkward. I think Common says it's like, you know how, what do you call those, like those flows he got, like them Afrocentric flows. It's like, I was minding my business.
More conscious.
Yeah, conscious rapper. He's like, the word bitch would describe a man named Ice, Cube last name. I had my rice with champagne. You be like, where's the diss in this?
Yeah.
And somebody be like, nah, you don't get it. He trying to say that Ice Cube is a bitch. Listen right here.
I burn rappers and I burn incense.
Oh, that is crazy. I eat bean pies with my guys. That's wild.
Ice Cube Muslim too.
Oh, he is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So they had no business beefing or porking. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like with me, man, I shout out to J. Cole, man. I don't feel like that. Somebody said like, dang. So people in their comments like, man, what is this gonna do to his legacy, bro? And then somebody else is like, is this y'all God? Y'all be talking about y'all love J. Cole so much. It's like,
yeah.
To me, I don't think like these people. Like I don't think in ways like, I'm not fanned out like, oh man, like J. Cole is the hardest artist ever, blah, 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 or this person this, or this athlete is this. I don't think like that. I'm always able to, how do I say? I'm able to adjust my opinion and the way I look at things with new information. I don't make definite outcomes and the way I perceive things. It's some people, it don't matter what happened. Like J. Cole had a coldest, craziest verse of all time, saying all kind of personal shit about Kendrick and everything, and they would still say, "Oh, that shit was mid."
Yeah, that's like the nature of social media. It gives people like an extremely loud voice. There's some people that myself, I'm a huge J. Cole fan. Like I've been to his concerts, I bought his album, the whole nine. And then there's some people that just like they're like such a fan of Drake or such a fan of Kendrick Lamar that like there's like this inherent, it's like the Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, like nobody could be, you had to pick a side. Like you had from 2008 or 9, I don't know when LeBron came in the league, but all the way through Kobe's, 2 championships after Shaq into, pretty much like until he retired, there was always this conversation, between Kobe Bryant and LeBron James, and you just had to pick a side. There was no way you could be a fan of both. And that's the same way like J. Cole, Drake has like kind of divided hip hop in a way. Like everybody's kind of ran with this narrative like J. Cole's boring. Mm-hmm. Kendrick Lamar is like a hermit. Drake is just like, he makes pop music. All like there's this kind of these narratives that kind of like are very divisive. And I think that's kind of like what people kind of run to. Like you said, like J. Cole, like if there was a song that came out and say there was like a ghostwriter or whatever. Mm-hmm. J. Cole drops the song, Kendrick drops the song, and Drake drops the song. There's going to be people saying like, oh, J. Cole's verse was trash. Oh, Kendrick Lamar's verse was trash. Oh, Drake's verse was trash. Even though it's like literally the same words that they're all saying, the same lyrics and everything. It's just like we have, but there are people in the social media space that have these inherent biases towards these people. But that's just one thing. But I think for me, I think that it did sadden me a little bit just because like I'm a person that kind of indulges in like the back and forth. Like I'm a person that would indulge in like the Kobe Bryant, LeBron arguments like on social media. Or LeBron didn't do this, or he didn't want to compete in the All-Star game, or he didn't want to do this, or he didn't want to do that. And same thing with J. Cole and Kendrick and stuff like that. Like I don't necessarily indulge in the arguments because you don't really win. It's all opinions at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like if somebody likes Kendrick Lamar more than J. Cole, that's fine. If somebody likes J. Cole more than Kendrick Lamar, like that's fine. I think my opinion at the end of the day is, the only thing that matters.
Look, at the end of the day, when it comes, it's certain things I'm not gonna have a conversation about long, like in arguments back and forth. Like, Bron ain't fucking with Kobe at all. That's my opinion. But I am aware of LeBron's, his achievements, which makes him arguably one of the greatest players of all time. So with me, I don't even have those arguments anymore. Just because you can make arguments of why he's better than Kobe. Even if I feel that Kobe's better, I'm not willing to waste my fucking time over it though. Like, that's the biggest difference. Yeah, but with this, man, I don't know, man. People just tend to, how to say it? People just tend to not be objective with these things. And here's the worst one. People can't appreciate everybody at the same time. I can still appreciate LeBron James because I'm gonna keep it a buck with everybody, and this is a fact, and you cannot refute this. At the age of 39, either Jordan or Kobe was retired, or they wasn't playing at the level of LeBron is now. They wasn't even fucking close to LeBron at this age. Not even close. That's a fact.
And Kobe's body broke down.
It broke down.
Yeah.
And Jordan had came back to the Wizards, and he was not on LeBron's level at all. So that is a fact. So my thing is even if I have an opinion, I can still simultaneously appreciate the greatness that is surrounding these people. Right? When it comes to Kendrick and Drake and J. Cole, I can appreciate all of them. I love Drake. I think Drake is dope. People love to say things about Drake. Drake is soft. I can't listen to that, this and that. I mean, come on. Are you gonna tell me, like, this is how I know people are not objective when they say, oh, Drake is just trash. Everything he releases trash. Bro, you a liar. You a liar.
Don't like one song, dog?
You a liar. You are a liar. Stop it.
Yeah.
J. Cole is trash. Like, come on, man. All right, man. You're entitled to your opinion, but you can't even escape it. That's how great that all of them are. They all got music that you like, even if you call them trash.
I mean, everybody is trash to somebody.
Absolutely.
I guess that's just like part of the way. Jay-Z is trash to somebody, like Kendrick, know, like Kanye West, all the, there's always somebody saying that these people are trash. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know, man.
But yeah, I don't know. As me, it saddens me that it's just not like, I wanted a couple more, back and forth records, but if that's not going to happen, then, so be it. Got to move on with our lives.
I didn't need it, man. Just me personally. I'm the boring guy. I mean, hearing those verses would have been dope, but I just feel like either one of them didn't bar up enough. I just don't feel like either one of them did. Like, anybody, could anybody objectively say, man, K-Dot's verse is one of the hardest verses I ever heard him say? No, I haven't heard anybody really say that. I haven't heard nobody say that that's one of the hardest verses I ever heard.
But I don't think it was meant to be like that. I think that most people looked at it like, like a
conversation starter almost.
Yeah, like we're trying to test the waters, like see what's going on out there. I think most people they didn't look at Kendrick's like that because he just kind of came out of nowhere with that. But they kind of looked at J. Cole's like that, and they were going to see, like, what would Kendrick Lamar respond to that. I would say now it puts kind of Drake in an interesting position because now that J. Cole is kind of like bowed out of the battle, I wonder what that, because most people believe that Drake was going to respond to Kendrick Lamar.
I just think that when it comes to artists like those three, we're playing an old game with them. Meaning, like, we live in a time where people really don't appreciate bodies of work anymore. Like, they don't appreciate albums really anymore. So the demo that these three guys are with, we're all around the same age. Whether it's a person that's like maybe super late 20s into their late 30s into their 40s, it's all. Well, Drake is the one that probably has the youngest demo, even though his is still a little older too. Like, his is probably college up, but J. Cole's was college at one time, but they pretty much all grown with him. So I would say that they're around maybe your age, 32 and up. If I might be off, but I think that's right around there. And K-Dot, I don't even know what his is. His is probably a little older.
J. Cole and Kendrick got the same fans.
About the same ones, yeah.
The only one is a little different is Drake. I think Drake probably has more female fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then like a little bit A little bit younger, just because he kind of dabbles with different features and stuff like that.
If we want to keep it a buck, the person with the most challenging career that probably doesn't even belong in this conversation, but he is Drake. Drake releases more albums than they do. He releases more frequently than all of them do. Mm-hmm. So he's putting himself out there way more than both of them. Mm-hmm. So he has like bro, if Drake was trash, like it would have been well known. Like
he's still on top. His last album, For All the Dogs,
mm-hmm.
you know, as much as people thought it wasn't that good, it still was like 500, 400,000 albums for the mm-hmm. first week. So
yeah, it was decent. It wasn't great to me, but he has some fucking bangers on there though.
Yeah,
he had some, and then he released a song. He released another album after that. It was like
he did like a deluxe thing.
Deluxe, yeah,
mm-hmm,
yeah,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. He got to do better on them album covers, man. That shit is just not. People don't even care about the album covers no more. Just lazy.
Yeah.
What was the one he had before with all the pregnant women on the front
with the emojis?
Yeah, what was that?
That was wasn't that For All the Dogs?
No, For All the Dogs wasn't.
Was that the single cover? I don't know.
Yeah, they got to do better. But back when I was growing up, they actually cared about the album covers, man. And for Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole, well, no, J. Cole actually does a decent job with his album covers. Mm-hmm. He actually gives a fuck because he had the KOD one where it was like an artist made that.
Yeah,
right, which I thought was dope. And then
Off Season was dope. It had the burn him
chord
in the background.
That was dope.
Mm-hmm.
That was dope. Mm-hmm. And I forgot what his other ones was. I think J. Cole, if you talk about like the best album covers, is J. Cole.
I think Kendrick's To Pimp a Butterfly was dope.
That was
the
dope.
People with the White House. I thought that was fire.
Yeah.
Damn
just said damn on That was not very creative, Kendrick.
Yeah, we got to get back to the creative album.
Yeah,
covers.
man. Yeah. Let me go check.
We got to actually see the artist too.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, we'll go to Drake. I think Drake is completely.
Drake had like one that looked like a freaking S curl box.
It's like, come on, man. Okay, so All the Dogs, terrible album cover. Certified Lover Boy, trash.
I think For All the Dogs was designed by his son or something like that.
Yeah, his son is trash, man.
Dang.
No, I'm playing.
That's crazy.
I'm playing. Yeah. But. For All the Dogs, it's got like 2 angels on the Scary Hours edition. That's weak. For All the Dogs, is his son made that. Sorry. Her Loss is just some girl with gold teeth. Honestly, never mind. Terrible album cover. Certified Lover Boy, terrible album cover. Dark Lane demo tapes, that's just not creative. It's like Drake with a mask on. Care Package, nope.
You got to go back to Nothing Was the Same.
Well, you want to go back up? Oh, okay.
Views was kind of fire.
Views was fire
because he was sitting on top of the thing, and then it kind of was like a whole thing. Remember how like people was basically like replacing him or putting him in other places?
Yeah,
I think that was fire. Having him sitting on a freaking tower.
So were you going? Were you going back? You going to So Far Gone?
Nothing Was the Same. Nothing Was the Same was fire.
I don't even see that.
That's where his head was in the clouds.
Oh no, I'm going all the way back to So Far Gone.
So Far Gone.
That's the first one.
So Far Gone was dope.
That's a dope album cover. The play on the letters, and then Thank Me Later. That's pretty dope.
Thank Me Later was dope.
Thank Me Later was like a play on like the presidential picture too back then. It was like a picture of whether I forgot who was. I think it wasn't George Bush. I forgot who was running, but they had like a presidential type picture.
Oh, okay.
Thank Me Later. That's a dope album cover. He's sitting there.
Thank
with
Me
like
Later is dope.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Thank Me Later. And that was an awesome album. Nothing Was the Same. That was a dope album cover. This is where it got bad. If you're reading this, it's too late. That's a terrible album cover.
You skipped Take Care. What do you think about Take Care?
I just said Take Care. It was an awesome album cover.
No, you didn't say Take Care. You said Thank Me Later.
Oh, I did? Oh, excuse me, Keith. Yeah, Take Care, awesome album cover.
Oh, Certified Lover Boy was all the pregnant women.
What a Time to Be Alive. It's just diamonds. That's not very creative. But yeah,
if you're reading this, it's too late.
That's trash.
That was definitely like, it was
amazing.
Viral.
Probably to me, technically, in my opinion, probably Drake's best work.
That album was fire.
That album was
with
stupid.
Some Lucy's too.
No skips. And that's supposed to be a mixtape. That wasn't even an album.
Yeah.
Wild.
That's the crazy part. Like sometimes you don't put that much effort into something, and it's probably
that shit was crazy. But yeah, before we move on, we gotta go to Kendrick's real quick, man. We gotta go to Kendrick's just for the sake of conversation. I don't think anybody ever went this deep with artists to seeing like looking at album covers. People say they don't care, but I kind of do care. Like let's.
Good Kid, Mad City was fire.
Okay, where you?
Yeah,
at?
he had some fire ones.
Okay, hold on. I'll go back.
Go back to Section 80.
I'm going back to 2010. Overly Dedicated.
Overly Dedicated. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty creative. It's got like some like it's not Medusa. It's like some I don't know some type of artistic take. Section 80. That's not bad. It's got like a
yeah, like the condoms and the bullets
and the Bible.
And stuff. Yeah, I thought that was
And it's an artistic take because it's got guns in the Bible. It's like just kind of let your mind wonder what's going on. And
Yeah.
Good Kid, Mad City is dope. It's just
That's
like
dope.
a Polaroid picture with his family in it. But
Yeah.
he blacked their eyes out, I guess, for he didn't want,
I think it's like his dad and some other people in there.
which is dope. And it's the deluxe
Probably
with the van.
Baby Keem next to him or something.
Probably Baby Keem's in there. Good Kid, Mad City, the deluxe. I think that's dope. It's got the van there. It's probably the family
the van.
van.
The van is dope. That whole thing was dope just because it was so personal.
Yeah, it's very personal. So I think a lot of personal things on the album is dope. To Pimp a Butterfly, that's dope. It's got a bunch of
it's fire.
Yeah, it's got a bunch of people there. They stepping on some big white man down at the bottom. I don't know this.
I never caught that.
You didn't catch that? Go look at it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
You see it there? Yeah. And then Untitled Unmastered, terrible album cover. It's just green. Come on, Kendrick.
Green is a good color.
What the fuck you doing, man? It's terrible. Damn. Not very creative, honestly. It's just a picture. It's a picture of Kendrick, and it's not
That
a very,
nigga look drunk.
Yeah, it's not a very photographic, very photogenic picture of Kendrick standing next to a brick wall. It kind of looks like us doing this podcast with this wall behind us. Like, come on, you gotta do better than that, Kendrick. Not very good.
Gotta open up the budget, my brother.
Yeah, damn collector's edition, same terrible. Black Panther, not very creative. The morale and the Big Steppers, I like it.
I like it.
Very personal picture of his kids. Nobody ever sees his wife and his kids.
Yeah, he got his family up there.
He got his family. I think it was dope. And I think she was probably, if she had a baby, I don't think she was pregnant there. But I thought it was really dope, man. It's like showing, and when you look at the picture, it's deeper than just the picture. He's got a crown of thorns on his head. He got a pistol in his back pocket. And he got his kids. So it's like.
It remind me of like a Malcolm X kind of
staring
picture.
out the window type. Yeah, but he's trying to paint a picture literally with some of his covers. Like, he's like he labeled himself as like a god, and a father, taking care of his family with that pistol in his back pocket and, the family unit. So I feel like that's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's dope.
Yeah, so who's in the lead right now?
Who got the best
So
album
far?
covers?
We haven't went to J. Cole yet, but we got out of these two.
I would say I would give it to Kendrick.
Okay, so Kendrick got it right now.
To Pimp a Butterfly was fire, and then Mr. Morale is kind of like, it's not like super fire, but it's decent. It has like a good story behind it all. But then again, the only thing with Drake is like he definitely had some that was like I could tell he don't care. Like I can tell like the music is good. Like I'm not giving y'all no fire album cover. Like for you to write, if you're reading this, it's too late.
That's just lazy.
With some left-handed like sloppy handwriting, that's not a fire album cover. It was trendy and it was viral, but it's not super creative, like artistic.
Yeah, but what's fucked up though is when you do that and the album's not good. They said you can't judge a book by its cover, but if the cover is bad and the music is bad, people are gonna start being like, I'm not even want to look at this no more.
Yeah.
So just don't forget.
No other artists out there. Don't think that you could come with this weak cover art and dropping fire music. It don't work like that.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So we go to J. Cole now.
Let's go to J. Cole.
Hopefully people aren't exhausted by this.
Cover art breakdown.
Cover art break. Hopefully you're following this with us. J. Cole sideline story, very new artist type cover.
He got out a new artist.
Yeah,
cover.
very very new artist type cover. Nothing really impressive about this. He's in a locker room. But I guess it goes along with the theme, sideline story. He's got a Letterman's jacket. He's trying to paint the picture of some type of sports theme, I assume. Very general though.
It's a very 2010, 11 kind of like, like you said, new artist kind of album cover. Yeah. It's I would say it's not like fire in 2024.
Right.
But it's definitely on brand. It's not no randomness to it. It's definitely like I'm in the locker room and
Right.
this is my so I could rock with it.
All right. And then the next one is 2013. It was the Born Center Deluxe.
Born Center.
It's taken the very, art gallery approach.
Yeah.
Right? It's got some type of small statue of a humanoid looking thing with thorns, and above it is a crown. It's a crown.
Yeah.
So I assume, what do you take from that, Keith?
I think it's pretty solid. It kind of it was that era, the kind of like Jay-Z rapping about, Basquiat and stuff. It was probably around that era. So I thought it's decent.
Okay. All right. So you got that. Then you got Forest Hills Drive. To me, is a legendary album cover because of so many people that dubbed it too. They memed it all over the internet.
Yeah.
But it was very personal. So this is what I think is dope, when this is like actually his residence, correct?
Yeah, where he used to live.
Yeah.
And the picture, like the composition, time of day, the background, the colors, it's just an amazing photo.
Yeah, it is. It's really dope. Shout out to him. That's a dope. And it's an awesome album. But it's got Forest Hills Drive live from Fayette. I really can't consider that an album cover, but it is dope at the same time. It's just a live version. For Your Eyes Only, I'm gonna say it's very average. It's only one step above the Damn cover. It's only one.
Because he's turned around.
He's turned around. It's the back of his dreadlocks, with the kid staring at him like, "What's going on here?" So and the handwriting is also not great. So it's not much. Now you upgrade in 2018 to KOD. This is
KOD is dope.
Very dope, but it's sending a huge message.
Yeah, it has a lot of like messaging in there with the syrup and the weed and the
but the picture it paints, from what I can see, is it's showing him with a crown on his head, and this big old jacket. He's being perceived as like a god almost, and it's showing all these kids, and they're sipping syrup, and they're snorting coke, and they smoking weed, and one of them is taking LSD, and at the very top you see a skeleton, and that's like death.
Yeah.
And then there's another girl that's halfway dead, right? So can you notice the transition as you go down, like the skull, and then the girl is half dead, then the kid's got like LSD on his tongue.
Yeah, you got pills. You're doing the pills. Yeah.
Pills,
and they're kids, which is kind of crazy.
And if you pay close attention, I don't know if anybody caught it, you notice that the picture of J. Cole's got his pinky out, and that's for coke. He's basically got coke on his pinky. I don't know if anybody caught that.
Yeah.
So he basically,
he's indulging too.
Well, basically what he's doing is like he's painting a picture of him doing the drugs, and he talked about this. This is why him and Lil Pump got into it for a little bit, because he was talking about how people perceive us as artists and the image we're putting out. And then Russ came and started like really doubling down on it too. And people got on Russ' ass like, "Oh, you ain't nobody, Russ." Great album cover, great album. I love KOD. Revenge of the Dreamers, not much there. It's like a knockoff of Star Wars right there. I don't know what that's about.
It's just the font.
It's just the font. It's just a knockoff of watching Star Wars when the credits go up. Off Season, amazing album cover. The backboard is in
Off
flames.
Season fire, yeah.
Yeah, the album was super dope. And here's another artistic thing that no one took from this, is the fact that he spaced all the letters out. All the letters are spaced out on the whole album. I don't know if anybody caught that.
Yeah.
And it was just another way of putting his artistic spin on into the album.
Yeah, I like that. Just the coloring, the composition with the fired court on fire in the background. That's dope.
Not to mention that it was more personal because J. Cole was actually playing basketball.
Yeah, he was really hooping.
He's really, really hooping professionally.
Making ESPN and whatnot.
Yeah, that was so cool. So I was like, to be doing that is amazing. And then the Gangsta Grills mixtape, it came out, D-Day.
This is like,
it's very
mixtape,
very
vibes.
antiquated. Yeah, very mixtape vibes. It's very livemixtapes.com. 2010 vibes, 2011 vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, not very much. And then this might delete later seems very rushed. Seems like he was just throwing something together.
Yeah, it's some more mixtape vibes with that one too.
Yeah, if he deleted it, I wouldn't be mad. Yeah, but it's shout out to J. Cole, man. So who's in the lead now, man?
Let me see. I think that let me go back to Kendrick real quick. I might, and maybe I'm a little biased. I might have to give it to Cole, and the only reason I would say that is because you can tell he put effort into
Absolutely
all of them.
Yeah,
Whether it was KOD,
yeah,
off season, Forest Hills Drive. You know, it looked like the only one it looked like he just threw together was For Your Eyes Only. All the other ones look like he actually put some thought into it. Like, this is going to be the album cover. I think with Damn, Damn is just like, and maybe it's, you know, this is deeper than I'm kind of looking at it, but, you know, it's just a picture like of this nigga just looking kind of crazy.
Oh wow! Why am I looking up albums? And then my Facebook opened up, right, and then this the first thing that pop up, bro. It's a meme with Homer Simpson and his wife, right, laying in the bed, and it say when he's been teasing you for 10 minutes and finally puts it all away. Why the fuck is this on social media, man? Oh my god. Anyways, I think we can move past this conversation, man. Shout out to J. Cole for rising above the BS, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to J. Cole. You know, I'll sleep on it and tomorrow I'll be good. But yeah, as of right now, I think that's a very mature way. And I think one thing that I would say I appreciate is he's been saying this for a while. He said it on Middle Child, like, you know, he said they act like two legends could not coexist. You know, something back when Drake, they was praying I dissed him. You know, all these, you know, basically saying like, y'all been praying for me to diss Drake because that's just the nature of hip hop and all these different things. And, you know, me and him are like actually cool and we can both be like, you know, at the top of our games and have our own fans and, you know, be respected as two legends that are on different paths. You know, so I think I think he's kind of trying to change the narrative of what a successful hip hop artist is supposed to look like. You know, it doesn't have to look like Biggie and Tupac are the biggest artists in the world. And like, there's just going to be inherent tension just because they're two of the biggest artists in the 90s. And
it's cool because it's two big artists, you know, they could exist. They don't got to have Diddy in the middle of all of it. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes it better. Ain't no modern day Diddy's out there. Can you imagine how tough it was for Tupac and Biggie with Diddy always intervening and everything?
Yeah.
Y'all trying to party? Hey man, let me party with y'all, man. Come on, man. Tupac like, I don't want this nigga around in my town.
Yeah. But no, I think I think that he's trying to, you know, he's just a very, you know, mature, thoughtful person, and I think he's trying to I think he's kind of coaching Kendrick Lamar in a sense with this thing. Like, dog, I told you on Middle Child, like we can all be here, and maybe like you are like from, you know, you may think that it's not supposed to look like this, but I'm telling you that we can all, you know, have our own space. But yeah, So I think that's, you know, cool for J. Cole. You know, I'm sure he could sleep better, which is good.
Yep, shout out to him, man. Switching gears, accepting the no. All right, I kind of want to speak more to men on this one, but accepting the no, man. I think there's a lot of times when, you know, whether you're trying to have a conversation with women or whatever the case, I've just seen it's been too many examples of men that ruin it for other men. Like, I remember it was quite a while back. But I made an offer or an invitation to take a young lady out to grab something to eat and have some drinks or whatnot. And she respectfully said, like, that was really sweet and I appreciate the way you articulated that, but no thank you. And I said, hey, no problem. You enjoy the rest of your day. And she said, oh, okay, no, she said, you too, right? She's fairly attractive, right?
She probably used to niggas cussing her out after that.
Yeah, she
after
probably
that
was
part.
scared to turn me down, right? And it shouldn't be that way, bro. Like, it really shouldn't be that way. And as much as I've seen women exaggerate shit, they be telling the truth a lot of times, man. Because I done seen it too many times. Man, fuck you, bitch. And also, the truth of the matter is a woman telling you no doesn't mean no forever. First of all, accept the no and move on. But on top of that, you don't know her situation. She's probably telling you no because she's seeing somebody, or she's probably telling you no just because things aren't aligning, or she may not want to talk to you. Whatever. It doesn't matter what the no is. Accept the no. And Keith said something earlier that was pretty important. He said, accept the no, but things change. Like, you could glow up. Like, she might have told you no 60 pounds ago, but you done lost 60 pounds. You done lost 60 pounds. You looking pretty handsome now. You smell good. You got good cologne and shit. Now the no done changed to, hey, how have you been?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And because you bowed out, like, amicably,
Right.
you know, you still good. Versus like cussing her out, or you dumb broad, or you ugly anyways, or you ain't, you know, whatever. And then it's like it's over then.
Bro, and the thing about it too is like, first of all, you got to really articulate it like this. Like, if a woman does not like you, that's okay. There's nothing else to talk about, man. If you get mad like, oh dang, you acting like that, like, I mean, you ain't all that anyways, to be real. I'm just trying to see if you want to hang out. Like, bro, don't do that. Please. I've said it multiple times. Like, don't call women fat bitches and body shame them or something because they didn't like you, because you was about to get you wanted some fat pussy. So you need to stop that. Don't do that. When women deny it, when women are saying no or whatever, just leave it alone and move on, bro. Because it's the no is not forever. And I'm not saying you should wait around. I'm not making that suggestion that you should wait around and, you know, hope that one day she likes you, because things change. Sometimes, okay, here's the thing that's funny to me though. You ever had, like, not so much a crush, but you had interest in a girl like 10 plus years ago or whatever, maybe even in high school, and she knew that you liked her and she probably didn't like you back or whatever. And then those 10, 12, 15, 18 years go by, and she's into you, but you ain't into her now. That's happened before. It's like this super high school crush that you have on this girl, and then like you see her at the supermarket one day and she's like, oh, hi, how have you been? And you be like, I mean, everything was all good 20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years and 20 pounds ago.
Yeah, like, I'd be more than 20.
More than 20?
Yeah, because I've been out of high school for 20 years.
Dang.
Yeah. But
how much they putting on?
Hold on, but I got some girls in my class. That have had some serious glow ups.
Really?
Oh man, some serious glow ups. It's some women that just get more beautiful as they get older. Like, some people peak in high school, and it's not to shit on them, but some people like look their best, they in their best shape, everything in high school, and as they get older, they fall off. Yeah. But there's some women, man, that they get older, but they don't look like that old, and they kind of keep it together. But I ain't talking about that.
Yeah, I think it's like kind of like you were saying, like that's why you want to keep it cool. Like same thing we talked about with Michael B. Jordan, when the girl, she was part of the little team of people that used to roast Michael B. Jordan or whatever the case may be. Like, that's why. Lesson learned. That's why you should be keep it humble and just talk to everybody with that level of respect, because who knows, and that's very rare. It's very rare, like, if you do want to disrespect a woman or whatever after she turned you down or whatever, that they're going to go and be the best actor in the world, or like the highest paid actor in the world, or the most attractive woman in Hollywood, whatever. That's very rare. But just in general, you just don't know. So, that's why you gotta, just be nice to people, I guess.
Bruh, why is this happening to me, man?
What?
I'm online trying to look up some stuff, just to kind of complement the conversation. And my dumb ass opened up Instagram and just seen this shit. It's a picture of Dr. Dre and Stevie Wonder, right? This nigga Dr. Dre said, just bumped into my hero and every musician's favorite, Stevie Wonder. Stevie said, it's good seeing you. Oh, they finna eat his ass up.
That nigga, man.
Oh my God. That's fucked up. I don't want to laugh at Stevie Wonder, man. Yeah. But nah, man, learn to accept the no. Because I've also seen situations where, or heard of scenarios where some dudes just keep pressing.
Yeah.
And some women will, you got to know all the nuances of women telling you no, when they're like telling you no in many different ways. Like, I'm just not interested. Or I'm this or I'm that. Like, bro, you got to pick that up, man. Because some women just get tired of having to, like, really, really tell you no. Because that shit get old. Now I want to get into a scenario we heard of, but a young man wouldn't take no for an answer until he made a woman so uncomfortable that everybody found out that the nigga would not leave her the fuck alone.
Yeah, and she just started crying.
Yeah. You driving a woman to crying, bro. That's you tripping.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. It should never get to that point.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I think. I think that men, because the thing about talking to most people, but the thing about definitely talking to women, like it's difficult for a woman in that position to, you know, just try to turn somebody down, you know.
Yeah.
And I think maybe even in that conversation with Eddie, I'm sure she was treading lightly, trying to make sure she didn't say nothing
Absolutely.
like wrong, because she didn't want to rile him up and get him to react a certain
Absolutely.
way. And that's probably because of, you know, maybe some experience where, you know, like if you do leave a guy on red or whatever, like, you know, he probably like saying wild stuff or whatever. Yeah. So I think that as men, you know, you definitely have to understand like accepting the no, and then also accepting like the indirect no.
Absolutely. Because on red is a no.
For sure. I think, I have a friend that was like recently like kind of called out, which is unfortunate, like, you know, sending multiple, you know, texts without responses, you know, and it like that's for the most part, that's a response. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I'm not in that world anymore, like, because I'm in a relationship. But I think that, you know, that thing is like, you gotta a couple. I wouldn't even say a couple, but you know, one. If they don't get back to you, especially how active people are, there's times or scenarios where a person may have just missed the message, or like, you know, like if they were, how would you say it? Like sometimes, you know, your notification will pop up on your phone and then you'll accidentally dismiss it, or, you know, it's just scenarios where you can kind of, you know, not respond.
Yeah, no.
Let me give my
my
point
bad.
out.
Go ahead,
So there's
Keith.
scenarios where that can happen and you just dismiss it or whatever. But if you're in the conversation, like that person is on your mind, you gonna hit the message and be like, dang, this person ain't text me back. So let me see like why they haven't. And then you gonna hit it and be like, oh dang, my bad, I haven't responded or whatever. You know, and then you pick up the conversation. But if you gotta double text somebody and it's still like, it's been like hours/days and they haven't got back to you, then they just not interested.
Absolutely. I think you have to allow women to give you the energy that you put into them. So if you text them and they not hitting you back, leave them alone. They probably trying to find a way to politely tell you to fuck off.
They're not messing with you.
Yeah, they're not fucking with you, man.
Yeah.
And then also too, what I've seen many times, when women do like you, bro, they will express it. I've seen women on the freeway going 85 miles an hour trying to text somebody on the freeway, bro. So women is willing to risk their life over text messages, bro.
For sure.
Women will text you in the shower, bro.
Work. Where they could be working at the White House. You can't even have phones in the White House, and they just
like,
in there.
Hold on, I'm gonna hit you back. Joe Biden just walked up.
Joe,
that nigga don't even know what a phone is. Like, what's that apparatus you're holding right there?
That's comedy.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. But there's that. Let's go switch gears and wrap this shit up, man. Switching gears. The solar eclipse. We got a solar eclipse coming to town. All right. And yeah, looking directly at the sun during a solar eclipse is dangerous. Here's what to know, because it's a bunch of y'all that's stupid. It's the same people that blow their hands off every year for 4th of July, y'all gonna be blind and blown the fuck up. All right. Millions of people along narrowband in North America will look up when the sky darkens during a total solar eclipse on April 8th. When they do, safety is key. Staring directly at the sun during a solar eclipse or any other time can lead to permanent eye damage. The eclipse is only safe to witness with the naked eye during totality or period of darkness when the moon completely covers the sun. Those eager to experience the eclipse should buy eclipse glasses from a reputable vendor. See, don't trust these niggas. They're going to say, these are good glasses. They will sell you something and your ass will go blind. Don't do it. Sunglasses are not protective enough. So hold on. I just read a contradictive statement right after the information. It says those eager to...
Wait, who wrote this article?
I don't know. I'll find out at the end. But I'm just saying, those eager to experience the eclipse should buy eclipse glasses from a reputable vendor, right? And then it says sunglasses are not protective enough, and binoculars and telescopes without proper solar filter can magnify light from the sun, making them unsafe. So maybe it's not contradicting. They saying
you have to have the eclipse glasses.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Please put those glasses on, NASA Administrator Bill Nelson said. So my thing is I feel like bringing this up mainly because I know people are stupid and they still going to be looking right at the sun. They're going to be like, I got to get this on Instagram. You'll get it on Instagram, but you won't post it because you won't be able to see.
Yeah, you're going to be standing right next to Dr. Dre talking about, it's good to see you again, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, man.
I think it's one of those things where it's like it's a huge event. I know at my job there was kids talking about it, like, oh, are you gonna watch the clips and stuff like that? And I was like, yeah, I'm a step outside and see it. But they've gone as far as like not even allowing kids to, in certain schools, not even allowing them to go outside, unless they're supervised from 10 a.m. here in California from 10 a.m. to 12. So and I think that's primarily because of like, not necessarily the misinformation, but the ignorance around it,
right.
Knowing that it's essentially like the sun is being blocked and it's just kind of like a rim of light around it, but also knowing that like people are not very informed when it comes to looking at the sun. And a lot of people, will ruin their eyes by trying to look at this solar eclipse and knowing that it's like the sun is moving, and the complete or the perfect solar eclipse is only for like a brief moment. So if you're looking at, the sun anytime outside of that, you'll definitely hurt your eyes. So yeah, I think that, people gonna people. And I can imagine tomorrow there's going to be a lot of people in the hospital or at the eye doctor trying to figure out what's going on.
Doctor, I don't know what's wrong with my eyes. For some reason, I woke up and just like my left eye, I just can't see out of it. It's like, so what were you doing yesterday? I was just with my family, just having a good time. So were you looking at that solar eclipse? Oh, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing. Most beautiful thing I ever seen.
Yeah.
Doctors was like, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
What's the eye doctor called? Is it an optometrist?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The optometrist is going to be like, get the fuck out of here. Where's the door, sir?
Yeah, I got some glasses from T-Mobile. They be having like the T-Mobile Tuesday.
Oh, you still be doing that?
Yeah, I'll be pulling up. If it's something good, like I'll pull up. Like they'll have like bags or umbrellas
look
or
at that shit.
Cups and stuff like that. Yeah, I get the.
They have it on location?
Yeah, you just go to the store. I actually went to some, and they'll have like the leftover stuff from like the previous. Yeah, like they'll have they have a lot of different stuff. You just go in there and show the little code, and then you can get the.
Where do you go to? I'm on the app right now, fucking on my thing.
Yeah, you just check it. I get the notifications every Tuesday. So on Tuesday, so even on this Tuesday, they're gonna send me a notification. Sometimes it's like free food, like free. It'll be like a free
food.
Mm-hmm. You sometimes you'll get like a free Frosty or something like that if you go to Wendy's or.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it's like dope stuff. I think the dopest thing that I probably got was like this like cooler. It was like an insulated bag. and it was decent. I was carrying all kind of stuff in there. It ended up tearing, but that was one of the doper things. They had like umbrellas and glasses.
Wow, I need to start getting some free shit because sometimes they fucking service be so bad. I need something free.
Yeah, for sure.
Motherfuckers tripping.
Yeah.
Like,
Sometimes you'll get like 40% off of like stores. That stuff ain't that appealing to me. But I got like Major League Baseball, like the MLB TV. You get one free, like get the whole app you can watch all the games for a year for free.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was like a few Tuesdays ago. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you can watch Ohtani hit them home runs and whatnot.
Man, I already got all that, man. I already got all the channels, dog.
Yeah, but this is
you already know how I got the channels, boy.
This is a legal version.
Don't play with me. Ohtani about to get watched for free. Yep. Yeah. All right. Anything else, Keith?
No, that's pretty much it. I would say, I think, kind of going back to that J. Cole thing, it's interesting, though. I think that everybody reaches this moment. And I would just say that I think J. Cole reached it faster. Because even Drake doesn't perform back-to-back anymore. Because him and Meek Mill pieced it up. So, and obviously, Nas ain't performing either anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah, I could see. J. Cole is just more mature than everybody. That's really
I
what
think
it
the
boils
main
down to.
person right now that should not release no diss content at all is Meek Mill. He'll get ate the fuck up.
Yeah, I think one, he should just stay off the internet.
Yeah, he need to just delete all his accounts.
Yeah, delete his thing. I would just hit the studio and just stay out the way. But, you kind of want to live your life. Like, I think he got paid to be, like, part of the WrestleMania. And WrestleMania is doing an amazing job. They got, like, they have, like, a second win that's crazy, because it's, like, people our age that kind of grew up watching wrestling. And now they've engaged, like, more of the hip-hop culture and stuff like that. And The Rock is back now and all this other stuff, and they have like really cool storylines. Like,
can you imagine how much they're fucking paying The Rock? God damn.
I think he's I don't know if he's on the board or something like that, but yeah, he's definitely. I think he got a stake in there. Yeah,
Meek was like, "Come on, Rock, get up, Rock."
Yeah,
situate him, Rock. situate him, yo.
That's a wild thing to say.
But when he first said it, he sounded kind of sassy. He's like, "Rock, get up!" Like, whoa.
Yeah,
got some little bit of remnants of Diddy in there.
I would say, I was thinking about this Diddy situation.
You see him on his bike?
Yeah.
Oh God.
I don't think Diddy is done yet. I don't think Diddy is done until he's done. And I say that to say, I'm a just be mindful about what I say about him, because there's a version of all of this where they try to bring the house down, and they're trying to, get these alleged women to say that he was doing, the sex trafficking and all this. There's a version of it where he can win. That's all I'm saying. Michael Jackson, I think they did the same sort of thing where they ran in his house, ransacked everything, the whole Neverland Ranch, and he was a free man after that whole trial. So, yeah, I just say that and I think that, I think that that's why there have been people that said like it's done, but there still haven't. Only like 50 Cent has come out and said like the wild stuff. So I think that's part of the reason why a lot of people haven't jumped out the window and just like completely.
You make an amazing point, but Diddy does not have the talent Michael Jackson does, and that's what makes it very different. People tend to forget about things a lot easier when the person is
I'm not
talented they are.
That's public opinion. I'm just talking about the actual court case.
Oh,
like
court
I
case.
think in public he might never recover. But I'm just saying, like, as far as him like going to prison,
okay.
I don't think it's a done deal yet.
Oh no, he'll probably be free. He has the money to protect himself. But and the thing is too, I think some of the stuff that P. Diddy is doing is for PR, man. Like Diddy just out on a bike.
Yeah, it's definitely, if he gets indicted, he definitely wants this like perception out here, like he's comfortable, he's
living
relaxed,
his life.
He's not.
Somebody ran into him. He's like, "Yo, I'm just down the street from my house. I ran into the man out here." He's like, "What's up, y'all? It's love. It's love."
It's love, y'all.
Come on, man. Like, come on, Diddy.
Yeah.
I ain't remember Diddy being outside this much in a minute.
Yeah.
And he was on a bike with no security or nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, he probably found
He probably was in it on like a little Star Island or something. No.
Yeah, probably either that or he's like, hey, look, check it out. I'm gonna pay you $8,000. Go over here and act like you got me in a candid, man. You need to get me in a candid photo, man. You deserve it, daddy. You deserve it. $8,000, man. Meet me in my bedroom, man. Like, I thought you just wanted a picture.
meet me
in my bathroom, man. Come on. Bad boy, come on, man. You ever had a grown man put lotion on you, man? Come on, man. I think what I'll say is this.
I thought he needed some lotion, man.
I thought he needed a rub down, man. Come on, man. It's been a long time. I'll say this. Diddy is the type of guy that publicly, in the way he lives his life, is very loud, right? So even if the courtroom acquits him of what's going on or they dismiss the case, right? The court of public opinion will probably have more of an impact on Diddy than the actual court. Because him being able to live his life the way he was, it's not going to happen. He'll be free, but he'll still be in jail.
That's the thing. I don't think that if he did any of this, he going to prison. I don't think there's a world where like this ain't like R. Kelly.
Well, that's not what I said though.
No, that's not what I'm saying. You said.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is like, I think that I don't think that there's a way where like, if he does get off, that it's like he did something and he got off. I think that if he gets off, it's going to be so clear, so evident that they didn't find anything. But if he does get thrown into prison, then obviously that
But that's not how the court of public opinion work. A lot of times once the man gets the R word put on him or certain things get out in the air, it's almost like people are less loud about the result of something than when it initially came up. That's like if you put out false information on CNN and everybody's up in arms about it, and then they come back with new information. There are people that are not going to unsubscribe to the first story. We know that's how the real world works. There's people will want to hang on to it, bro. I remember after Kobe passed away, I went to GameStop for some reason. I went to go get something out of there. I think I went to get a game or something. And some girl just voluntarily just mentioned Kobe Bryant. And she was like, yeah, I don't feel bad for him. He was a rapist.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what?
I could see that. I just don't think that he moved. Like he's not like the way he moves, and like, he's just kind of like an entity now. Like he makes music. In his last album, like it has some cool music on there. It has some good music on there. I'm not gonna say cool music, but I don't think that he needs the public like that. Like
hell no, he definitely does.
But what does he do like that requires a public? He was running Revolt, and he was selling liquor.
Not just that, he has massive parties. He has relationships with people like Oprah, people like fucking Emeril Lagasse, all these people that come to his house parties. His public relationships are damaged. So regardless, my point is this. Just like the girl I mentioned at GameStop, she's still subscribed to this, to how she feels about whatever she feels Kobe did. Kobe did not get arrested for rape or get charged for it, but she's still holding on to it. How do you think most of America is going to feel even if Diddy doesn't go to jail? The same way they felt about O.J. Simpson. There is a vast majority of people that said O.J. is guilty. He killed Nicole.
But that's
It's the same shit.
No,
it's the court of public opinion.
It's a word though. Like when you see the O.J. Simpson trial, you see what's her name, Nicole Brown or whatever. You see her chopped up and laying on the thing. That you see it's like a whole. People believe that he did that because like the evidence pointed to that. Right now, Diddy it's all just literally what Cassie said. And then with this Lil Rod situation, which most people believe is just a bunch of like stuff he just pulled together, and some of the stuff has already been able to be proven like false. Like I say that to say, one, I'm not indicting him because I don't know. The only thing is Cassie's word. Cassie said that X, Y, and Z happened. They settled for X amount of money, And that's all we know right now.
Yeah, but here, dog, the Cassidy situation didn't do it though. That went on, and then afterwards, Diddy was still able to move around, and it wasn't as bad. But once these other stories started compiling, that's what really made this shit come down. That's what made everybody start really keying in on Diddy, and people started to turn him into memes. Like the public view of Diddy is permanently damaged. Permanent. He will never have the relationships he had with all these people. He just won't, even if he's acquitted, because nobody's going to want to be next to him now. That's all I'm saying. Like, even with a guy like O.J. Simpson, before he done that dumb shit with his memorabilia, people was calling him murderers for years. He didn't get no more jobs with sports networks. He didn't get no more jobs with nobody. O.J. was just a lone wolf labeled as a murderer. That's what happened to him. The same shit gonna happen with Diddy. Even if they don't have anything, like when the feds come down, if there's any, okay, hold on. What do they call those? Oh man. Remember there was a thing where a bunch of guys getting canceled, like people like this person founded this person, or they said this.
And the Me Too movement.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Okay, you know why that was happening? That was happening, one, because it is some niggas out here that's doing some shit to women that they have no business doing. But it's also true that if a woman ever wanted to weaponize it, or even if she said anything, these companies are not going to do their due diligence because they don't even want to be next to a nigga that did that. It's bad for business. If somebody says, Rolly tried to rub his dreads on my breast, they're going to be like, well, he does have dreads.
That's wild.
He does have, or Keith, we call him Rolly, but Keith Fingers tried to rub his dreads on my breast. They're going to be like, hey, Keith, we're going to have to let you go. We got some complaints. We're investigating it right now. But they don't even want to be next to a person like that because it's bad for business.
I think that the whole party thing, I could see that. I could see like him stopping that, or not, people not wanting to be associated with that just because of the thing. Right. But he not making money off the parties. That's just part of his lifestyle. But like,
oh yes, he is.
How is he making money off a party?
You think rich people don't have business conversations at parties? That's where they fucking happen.
I'm talking about like literally making the ways he make money. When you look at his net worth breakdown, it's Ciroc, it's a little bit of Revolt, it's a little bit of Masters music catalog stuff. It might be some real estate. I'm talking about literally making money. He had to sell his shares of Revolt and all that other stuff. Absolutely. But what I'm saying is, I think that the party stuff is over just because it doesn't, one, you old.
That's not going to affect any of his business?
No, I don't think so. If you're Diddy parties because Diddy party, he talking to like LeBron James, and like that's not business. That's just him, like it's part of his being Diddy, is like partying, and like that's what they say. Ain't nothing like a Diddy party. They not there trying to close on deals. They doing drugs and getting drunk and having sex and stuff like that.
That's how you do business.
I guess. But I don't think the CEO of Ciroc is there trying to close a deal. They trying to get to do cocaine and like and get drunk.
You don't know that.
I don't believe it. That doesn't make sense to me.
That's why escorts are so important, because the rich guy that's at the top of this company, you bring him a very attractive escort with a bottle of champagne, and you talking while he's getting a BJ, you will close a deal. There are a lot of people that do this.
I guess.
Robert Kraft was getting a fucking hand job. So a lot of rich people
doing that, but there's no evidence to support that there's business dealings happening at parties.
Many
while people are
do
getting
business over
That's just
sex.
Hearsay. But what I'm saying, what my real point is that if Diddy is acquitted, there's no reason. Diddy is a crude businessman. Like, he's a very successful businessman. He's very successful at making especially with alcohol in recent years, like putting it in the front of him at all times, like make sure y'all drink this, or putting it at and obviously selling Ciroc was part of like the whole party.
What's
thing.
a huge part of business? What's a huge part of business? Just probably the biggest part of business.
I don't know.
Public perception. You think Bank of America give a fuck about black people? Do you think Wells Fargo give a fuck about black people? They actually use them as collateral during slavery, but we stand with the black community, blah, blah, because it's good. You want to publicly look good. You can't do that anymore, Diddy. Your shit's gone. And also these business deals, if you think that every form of business at companies is in this boardroom with a bunch of board members having conversation with suits on, hell no. I cannot say that with a straight face.
But I also can't say that it doesn't. That's people
not
are closing deals and while they're getting head.
It's people getting their dick sucked, snorting cocaine, making businesses that you think that these big pharma people ain't getting BJs. They not on a yacht with 21-year-old girls.
I think that's happening. I just don't think that they're
I'm saying
deals.
this because it's factual. Government officials have been busted with prostitutes with cocaine.
Not closing deals though.
They're government officials. They have no business to be doing this, Keith. That's all I'm saying. Is the people that are top of these companies and public officials are getting busted doing it. It's not like they only handle business outside, and they're getting busted together too. They had this thing, and it said, "What profession is this?" And it said, it showed a bunch of different infractions
all the
and
stuff
crimes.
that they got,
and it said, what sport is this, the NBA or NFL?
It was politicians.
And it was politicians.
Yeah.
So who is this nigga hanging with? Kamala. He's hanging with all these different politicians and Oprah and all these people. You think none of these motherfuckers do coke or drugs? Like, I'm not saying that they do it specifically, but it's like, come on, man. Like, that's going to affect his business. The parties affect his business because the people at the party, not because they at the party always doing business. But if you party with this dude and you see him get loose, you're like, I like the way he parties, man. I love this guy.
If Diddy is acquitted, and we have multiple examples of people going on trial for something and even getting convicted of something and being able to have a semi-successful career afterwards, and obviously not in that space.
Can you name some of those offhand?
Chris Brown beat up Rihanna.
Chris Brown's an artist. You could beat women and still be successful.
I'm just saying he was successful afterwards. Kobe Bryant.
So was Rick James.
Kobe Bryant allegedly,
keep going.
He was acquitted of the whole thing, but he was still able to get endorsements and
when you leverage sports and entertainment. Well, sports and entertainment, that's one thing. When you're a business guy, when it's straight business. When it's not just like your talent and you lean on your talent, because to be honest, Diddy's not a great musician. He was in a lot of songs he had no business being on.
Right? The dude, I mean, it's a terrible example, but the dude that messed with Drake Bell is still got shows afterward. He was still working on shows.
Yeah, that's insane. I think what happens too, though, as a society, I think that whenever things are not brought to the forefront, then people are still able to move behind the scenes. But now that this is happening, who knows? When you commit something so crazy, especially against kids, anybody that's working next to you is going to want to get away from you. So it comes back to what I'm saying. Even if they don't have a problem with anything allegedly that Diddy did or whatever, even being next to a person doing it is bad for business. It is bad for business.
I just think if a guy like Jay-Z, who is friends with Diddy, if the whole thing if he goes to prison, obviously it's a done deal. If he gets convicted of sex trafficking and all these things, it's a done deal. But I think that if he gets acquitted or, whatever, if he doesn't even get indicted, then he good. Like, he already kind of moving like nothing is wrong anyway. So I think that people will slowly but surely, if they never indict him and they just drop the case or whatever, and they find that when the feds do their investigation, they look through all this, scrub all this stuff, and they see no wrongdoings. They might see he was doing the little freak offs here and there, but nothing was illegal. I think that in 4 or 5 years, he'll dip off for a little bit, maybe change his name, come back and have like a new kind of like, mature version of himself, and maybe stop partying as much. I think it will be back to regularly scheduled programming.
That's what you think. I think it went too far this time, though. I think that it seeped too deep into society this time. But I think that the Cassie situation, it got settled, and the case itself was terrible, absolutely.
But if any of that stuff is true, if he blew up somebody's car, if he was hiring. There's no
prove it.
way to scrub all of that stuff. It's just too much.
Yeah, it's too much. But
You got paper trails as far as like paying people. There's going to be people's names that get brought up. If the way that they're doing this investigation, where they scrubbing three of his locations, if something is there, it's the same thing they say. Like Charlamagne says it all the time. He's like, they did a thorough investigation on Michael Jackson. If any of what he did was true, they would have found it.
I don't think it's that black and white. I think that when you have enough money, you have the proper representation. There's been plenty of people who were poor and innocent and got exonerated 40 fucking years later because they didn't have the money to prove they were innocent. So a lot of these people just have the
This
right.
is the feds, though. We're not talking about like Bakersfield or Kern County versus. This is like the people that are like vetted to be the most best people at their jobs.
You're right. And I don't want to get conspiratorial, right? And say that there's somebody that can infiltrate the feds. But I don't believe that anyone is not impenetrable. I think that Lord knows who. Because if he has cameras and enough people and celebrities that are involved in this stuff, they're not going to want this shit to get out. And I don't know how much power people have. I don't want to go into some Jeffrey Epstein type conspiracy. But if we have to also understand that there are things that happen behind the scenes that we don't even know what's going on. So I can't speak in definite terms about P. Diddy. I can't. I don't know enough. All I know is that his public perception is done.
I don't see it that way, though.
Done.
I see people online making fun of him, and I see people that have just kind of like moved away from him and have not really talked. The only thing I really see online is 50 Cent making fun of him and a bunch of memes and people saying no Diddy. But I don't see any vast like consequences for what's going on right now.
The only way, this is new territory too, Keith. Like, this is the guy that is a mogul, a business guy. First of all, regardless, he gonna have money regardless. Even if he went to prison, he'd still be fucking rich.
Yeah.
Because also a lot of his stuff is in his mother's name. Right? And the person that said it, and
businesses too.
In businesses too, absolutely. I remember Mace, when him and Mace had a back and forth, or not even a back and forth, when Mace just started talking, he's like, you don't want me to start talking. That's why everything is in your mother's name, man. Everything is in your mother's name. And it was like, come on, Mace just talking. And it all came out.
Yeah, but that doesn't really say anything, though.
Well, it protects you. But basically, you can't come after him. It's like it's like an LLC. If you sue somebody, you can only come after the LLC and not personally come after him.
That's just good business.
Yeah.
Even the houses when they talked about it on the news, they said that this was under Sean Combs Enterprises in his son's name, and this house was under, P. Diddy, whatever, Love Records in his daughter's name and stuff like that.
He's moving money so many places you don't even know what's going on.
That's just like probably for tax purposes. A lot of people have houses and stuff in their business names.
Yeah. You can be like Trump paying $750 in taxes.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to you. If you're rich and you know how to do that,
that's
man,
good business.
More power to you.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, man. I
don't know.
We'll
see.
know. We'll know in
see.
the next 5 or so years.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
probably sooner than that. A couple months.
Hopefully. My thing is this: like I said, I can't speak in definite terms, but I also can't say like, they didn't find anything, so that means that nothing exists. I can't say that.
My thing is, this is not like, this is the feds, man. Like,
yeah, the feds are serious.
It's not
it's serious business.
Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty much taking everything at face value, because if it was a thing where they could pay somebody off to prevent something from happening, it probably would have been done already. I don't think that they're interested in anybody's money. I think the police can probably be paid off. I think you can have some police officers working for you, but the feds is in it to win it. They not concerned about and they get paid pretty good already, so I don't think that they're concerned about all that stuff. No, but I will say
the feds, they're basically from the government, correct?
Yeah, but I will say that I hope it's not true, and I think that there's people that are like hoping that is true. I don't. That's disgusting. Like for this to be like a a real thing for somebody to be sex trafficking and doing it.
We're right, but we also know that the feds had definitely had some issues when it came to a lot of black civil rights leaders back in the day.
Yeah.
And they infiltrated and did things they had no business doing. So at the same time, as we can say, all the feds are, but they're obviously not without sin if you look at their historical record.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this shit blows over. I don't hope Diddy did anything, because that's just weird, personally. But
yeah, it's really
some people like he need to go down. What he did to those people. It's like, bro, you work at Office Max, man. You didn't see anything.
We just don't. Nobody knows.
We just don't know.
Yeah.
But the only argument that I had is I personally feel like his public perception is dead. That's just my opinion based on how I know how people think. Not because of if he's acquitted of this, or not even acquitted, but if he's not charged with anything, I'll just be like, oh, well, did he?
I think if he is acquitted, I think it's going to be similar to R. Kelly being. I guess he was acquitted for the whole sex tape with the young. I think people. I think people still love R. Kelly. They're like, dog, that was a very sick thing that you did to some of these young girls, Aaliyah included. But I think people still genuinely like. I don't think they like hate R. Kelly. I don't know if it's just because R. Kelly was such a great R&B singer.
Is that a minority? Is that a minority or majority?
What you mean?
I'm talking about the number of people you saying that still love him.
That don't. Yeah. I don't know about the thing. I don't know. I think they're more devastated than they are like, I hate this person.
I think they've unsubscribed. I don't even think there's a section of people who hate him. There's a section of people who've unsubscribed and don't really have an opinion. And there's the ones that like him. And I think that the people who unsubscribe and the people that don't like him, you might as well just marry that number. And because the people, the minority that like him and still play him at weddings and shit like that, that's not a vast majority of America.
No. It's more than you think. It's
not a majority.
I've been to a lot of weddings, and I mean, we just talked about it, and they've always played R. Kelly, and it wasn't no hiccup. It wasn't nobody like, turn that off. We don't need to hear it. And obviously it ain't like the sexy songs, but it's like Step in the Name of Love and all this kind of other stuff. But, I think that people are they can recognize the what do you call it? The wrongdoing in the whole situation, but they also recognize that they like this song.
What I can tell you was hilarious about large businesses is when they could still leverage your likeness, whether you've done something crazy or not, they'll still do it. R. Kelly is still on Spotify. If companies really stood on something, his music would not be allowed to be on that platform.
Yeah, I think that
they scrubbed some music off too.
I think they're doing the right thing though. I think they removed him from playlists. I think that was the initial thing, but I think they're doing the right thing because you can't police every individual because then you would have to start going back to, like
Elvis.
Like people that were, the whole statutory rape thing, and then all, it gets very convoluted. So I think the best thing that they can do is stay away from, like, just remind people that we are a platform that allows people to upload music. We're not getting into nobody's life. If you're an individual playlist and you want to remove certain people from the playlist, I think that that's fine because the playlists are generally ran by third-party entities already. So that ain't really got nothing to do with us. But yeah, you'll look like a hypocrite very quickly if you start to remove people from.
You would have to create a code of conduct that would basically be that will work against you because some of your biggest artists would start having offenses that would take them off of that platform.
You got to remove James Brown.
You got to remove James. You got to remove Rick James.
Chris Brown.
You got to remove Chris. You got to remove R. Kelly. You got to remove
R. Kelly.
There's so many other. It's been country artists. All kind of people got to be taken off.
Then you start to get into this is like assaults, sexual assaults, all these things. What about racism? Then that's going to be a whole nother thing where you got to remove Morgan Wallen and all these things.
Absolutely, because Morgan Wallen was throwing that N-word around.
Then you have Nipsey Hussle, who essentially said disparaging things about the president.
Absolutely,
you're gonna have to remove that his
Yeah.
catalog, and it's a whole.
That's
What about the gay slurs? So it's
Absolutely.
gonna so I don't know. It would get to a place where it's just like it ain't no
Absolutely.
music on here.
That's a great argument, man. Yeah. Well, I think we might have to create a whole new podcast to talk about these crime cases, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Trucker's Mind Crime Cast.
Yeah, but I would say that's my stance. I do see like how Diddy it's not looking good for him. I don't think anybody wants to stand by him. I don't imagine like if he threw a party tomorrow that anybody would show up. But yeah, I'm just in the space of like, let's see what these documents say. Let's see what these arguments are. Let's see how let's see what type of evidence they show up to court with. Let's see, who takes the stand. Stuff like that. Let's see what type of people come out of the woodworks. Because there is a version of it where, people are just looking for money, and there's like, they had that whole, I think, didn't Oprah produce that? Did she do that? Was she the one that produced the documentary about the people that Michael Jackson, accused Michael Jackson?
I think it was Oprah, bro.
Yeah. And I mean, I never watched it, but a lot of people were just like, yo, this is a reach.
This is a reach and it's fucked up. And Gail did the same thing when she asked the questions about Kobe. I was like, come on, what the fuck?
Yeah. So, we'll see. We'll see what's going on.
Yep. There's that. Well, if you made it to the end of this episode, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to A Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fangs.
We're out of here.